Everybody, and welcome back to Free-to-Play Master Duel. Short update today, just a few replays. We are climbing our way through silver, as you can see, and we still have not lost a single duel. Ranked right now seems to be plagued by a lot of self-decay and just troll decks and daily D-rank, yeah, all of that garbage. But I do still have some half-decent replays to show you. I'll make it really quick. You know what the deck does. It's the same deck list as before. Let's hop right into it. And for our first duel today, I believe we are going against a Cyber Dragon player. And we open not great. Pukari is only good if you have a normal summon, and Conquery is the only level 5 in the entire deck. So we're just going to sit. He uses a Mystical Space Typhoon on our Impermanence. It's a good hit. That's a big set. Alright, so let's see what we top deck, and it's the Multi-Faker. Perfect. So we'll go ahead and flip up the Protocol, which will let us summon the Multi-Faker. Multi-Faker's going to summon a monster from the deck, but we get Impermanence. Remember to read your cards, alright? And your opponent's cards. Protocol says cannot be negated. So we summon, we link off with the Pukari in our hand into the Hextia. So that's going to let us search for a normal summon, and the Pukari actually chain blocks the Meloseek from getting ashed. So that's an awesome little thing. You can only do it once, but it's great. So we'll search for the Marionetter. Marionetter's going to get us the Manifestation. The order is always Protocol, Manifestation, then you can go for the Elf for the OTK. So we'll go ahead with the Meloseek. Go ahead with the Meloseek, and he's going to Mirror Force. Luckily, that's what the Hextia is for. We'll go ahead and negate that. Get him with the Meloseek. Every time Meloseek does damage, we'll be able to send a card to the graveyard. I tend to go for the back row, so I don't have to use my Hextia. But we actually can't get over the Ash Blossom. So in end phase, we're going to go ahead and we're going to link off into another Hextia, which will let us search with our first Hextia. It also puts it in the graveyard to follow up with Manifestation or a Marionetter summoned from the graveyard. So the more Hexias you can have in play, the better. So let's see, he summons the Cyber Dragon, and this is all with the toggle on because you don't want him to summon his Chimera Fortress thing. So we're going to go ahead, summon, insta-bounce, get that thing off of the field. We're going to use the Elf, we'll summon him. That'll activate Multi-Faker, and even though Multi-Faker already activated, it's just an extra body on board, and the pressure's too much. And he rage quits. Alright, and for the second duel, we have a weird 8-axis deck, which would be a deck that revolves around level 8s, rank 8s, things of that nature, Synchro 9s. So we open pretty good, it's all monsters. So we're going to go Meloseek and the Link Karibo. Meloseek will search our Multi-Faker, and luckily we have a trap, so Compulse, Multi-Faker, and Link Karibo reduced to 0. It's not the worst ever. Now we could have used the Pukari and gone into a Hexia and done all of that, but I wanted to see what he was playing before I went and did all of that. So he summons. Now, monsters with a large attack power can actually be quite hard to deal with sometimes with Altergeist. And I don't want to return these to the hand because he'll just use the Nebula Dragon again to summon it. So we'll go ahead, we'll bounce the back row, and we'll just pass it over. Oh no, it's our turn. Okay, so we can go ahead and summon Marionetter. Now having Link Karibo in the field can kind of mess up your combos a little bit. With getting everybody in the right position. Go ahead and summon our Meloseek, attack, take out that back row. You always want to try to play the slow game with this. Oh, okay, we take out the Albion instead. That 2500 attack power is a little intimidating. And then we link off into a Hexia. And we'll get our search and our chain block. And he activates back to the front in response to summon his Albion back. And we search for our Conqueror just for a little more protection. So we're pretty set up right now. It's his turn. He can draw, standby. He summons Maiden with Eyes of Blue. We're going to go ahead and just flip up Protocol, summon the Faker. And now we already have a Silkatus, so I just summon a Melee Seek in case I need to tribute with Protocol, then we'll get a search. So Link Karibo is going to protect. Conqueror is going to protect. And negate for no reason. And that's the end of your turn there. So we're going to go ahead and bounce that single back row. We don't want to deal with that. You always want to bounce back row in their end phase so that they can't activate it. But now that the Link Karibo's off the field, we can really go in. So we're going to summon another Hexia right on top. That'll put him to 3,000. But we're not ending there. Summon the Marionetter. Marionetter's going to set our manifestation. Now we have all three in rotation. Silkatus, when it's sent to the graveyard, can return a trap to your hand. So that's the way to recycle those. And we'll link off all of that and the Pukari in our hand. Pull out our Memory Gant. Now right here, I want to talk about what you can do from this position. So the Hexia is at 4,300. That's great. So you can go ahead and you can poke it, whatever. And then after that, you want to attack with the Memory Gant. Now Memory Gant, when it says you can tribute one other monster, this card gains attack equal to that tributed monster's attack on the field. Notice it doesn't say until the end of the turn, so that is a permanent attack boost. Alright? And it's the attack that it had on the field. So when we tribute this Hexia, it will gain the 4,300 attack power, going to 7,100. Now from here, we can attack with this, negate with that, and then we're going to attack, and then that will destroy one monster your opponent controls, which would be this, and then attack again for 7,100. So you can actually OTK through a lot more than what you normally even get to, because people do things like what this guy's about to do. So I go into the battle phase, I go to swing, he surrenders. He knows I can negate the Maiden, and just lost all hope. And for the last duel of this video, I wanted to keep them all as actually good duels. So this one we're going to let play out in its entirety. We're going against heroes in this matchup, and I think this was a good duel here. So we open Pot of Prosperity and we dig. Pot of Prosperity lets you grab anything, so this can search Infinite Impermanent, Solemn Judgment, all your trap cards, personal spoofing. It's one of the only ways to get those kinds of things in your hand outside of your opening. But otherwise we open pretty good. We have the Protocol negate, we have the Imperm negate, we have spoofing swap into Multi-Faker, and we have the Cosmic Cyclone for the Runic. But it is Elemental Hero Stratos. So we're going to go ahead. I have a habit of trying to shut decks like this down on the first turn. A lot of people that come from Duel Links rely on the normal summon a lot, like me, as you can tell. I prefer simple, control style play, and a lot of people on Master Duel seem to be the same way. So he sets up, sets some back row. We're going to personal spoofing for the Multi-Faker. We're going to go ahead and summon it and the Silkatus for the bounce. And he actually still just goes for the Marionetter, so I'm going to let him. And in the end phase, I'm going to bounce some of his back row instead. Once again, I'm not worried about the Stratos. If I bounce him, he'll get the search. But this way, I can take both of his trap cards out. Well, the Dark Fusion as a bluff. So now we can spoofing the Silkatus off the field, grab our Marionetter again. So we go for the Manifestation. That's always the second one. This will let you grab things from the graveyard. Multi-Faker will also activate from the graveyard, so if you can get it in the graveyard, link with it like I'm about to do now, then you can just summon it with Manifestation the next turn and get the summon, and then bounce it back to your hand, and then summon it again that way. It's actually quite annoying. There's a reason this card was at 1 for so long. I think at some point it was banned in the TCG as well. But don't quote me on that, because I don't play the TCG anymore. So go ahead. We're just doing some linked plays. I'm going to link these two into the Hextia. One little thing I want to mention is Multi-Faker summons monsters in defense position when he summons from the deck. But if you summon a Marionetter from the deck, you can actually tribute the Marionetter to summon any other Altergeist from your graveyard in attack position and get around that little restriction. As you can see now, we are fully set up. Now, notice the card advantage here. He's down to 5 cards while we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards in play. We also have cards in the graveyard that are relevant. We can summon with Manifestation, we can summon another Hextia, Multi-Faker. We even, threw part of our extra deck away, but we're still just outpacing this guy so hard. So we're going to use the Manifestation on his turn to summon the Multi-Faker, like I said. Multi-Faker is going to summon the Silkatis from the deck. Silkatis is going to go ahead and just bounce the back row. Not a fan of those. Now, this guy I really appreciate. He lets me pretty much fully combo off. So, praises to Huey. And, yeah, you can check this out. I accidentally toggled off and missed the full damage part of the combo, but you still get to see the point. So you summon the Hextia specifically right there, the left side, and then the furthest left monster zone. And then you can summon the Memory in between the two, and they will both go to 4,300 attack power. This is the ultimate flex play. You really don't have to do this, but if you're gonna do it, you might as well go for it. I think there's achievements for dealing with such large amounts of damage. Now there I was gonna tribute in just one shot, but there it is. So yeah, those are some duels in silver rank with Altergeist. As you can see, this deck is still quite good at this rank. We'll see when it starts to peter out in power. Alright, and that's all the replays I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for coming to hang out. Real quick, you can see just from doing those, we actually got a whole bunch of gems. So, really fast, little fun bit. Now, you know what, we'll save it for the next episode. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Have a wonderful day. Like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, just have a wonderful day.